This is George with Night Skate. Today we're going to be going over the Alcedo Skate, the 80 and the 90 millimeter version. We're going to be talking about the cuff. We're going to talk about the boot. We're going to be talking about all the various components, the frames, the wheels. In addition to that, I'm going to tell you my personal experience skating them, things that I've heard, and my personal opinion about not just the skate, but the people behind it. So stay tuned. Check 1, 2, check. All right, guys, this is George Gonzalez, owner of Night Skate here in San Bernardino. It's been a while, but had to come back because I wanted to talk about the best-selling skate out of the shop right now. It's been actually quite impressive. Is the Alcedo. So this was actually designed by Ricardo Lino. Well, he had a big part to do with it. He actually has a video. It is not a review. He'll be very clear it is not a review because he had such a big hand in actually designing the skate from the beginning. But it's very informative, so after or before you watch this video, I highly recommend you watch that video. That's where I got most of my information from. But without further ado, let's just jump into this. I've been skating the Alcedo. This is my pair, the Alcedo 90. Right now, this is about after 6 months during various night skates and just personal skates, as well, like I said, as just going over the various features and getting you guys acquainted with this relatively new skate. I'll first start by saying there are two options available. There's the 80 millimeter version, which you see right here. And then there is a 90 millimeter version, which is my personal skate. You can see right here. 80 millimeter version is going to run you about $209 out of my shop, and the 90 millimeter version is going to be $239 typically. This cuff is actually very impressive. A lot of people, a lot of OGs will appreciate this if you come from aggressive, because it has essentially what we call the Rossi's buckle or a memory buckle. So I guess Rossi's lost the patent after 20 years, and this company was able to replicate that. Beautiful thing about this memory buckle is that it's actually universal. So you can take it off of here, put it on a pair of aggressive skates that you have, put on another pair of skates that's compatible with standard buckles, and it'll fit on there. It's a removable cuff. I'm more of a fan of riveted cuffs. You know, I've had, as a shop owner, I see way more people coming in asking for pieces of cuffs that have fallen off on accident than I do see people taking advantage of actually the benefits of a removable or adjustable cuff. So that's just my personal opinion, but it's a good cuff, good, awesome buckle, ratchet buckle right here on the 45 strap. To take it off, you press right here, pull out. Actually, let me go over the memory buckle really quick, because if you're not familiar with it, it can be a little confusing. So getting back to the memory buckle right here, you pop this off and take off the skate like that. And this is used to just adjust. So you adjust one time, and then once you get it adjusted, all you do is lock it on and like that every single time you take off your skates. So you don't have to play the guessing game. You get adjusted to your perfect tightness one time, and you never do it again. So I like that feature. A lot of us love that feature in aggressive skate if you come from aggressive skating. But now let's get into the liner. So the liner is probably the one thing, and the brand is aware of this because there's a lot of people have let them know. The liner is where they need the most improvement, but they are working on it, from what I've heard. So this is the liner. It's actually pretty cool. It is, if you're familiar with Intuition liner, this is very, very similar to that. Just feeling it, when you touch it, it's definitely not the same quality of an Intuition liner. Same concept, but I wouldn't say same quality. I wouldn't do that. Major issue that a lot of people have is this pull tab right here. If you pull too hard, it will end up looking like this, which is a pull tab that is no longer attached to the liner. So it's happened a handful of times while people have been trying skates on in the shop. So just be mindful of that. Do not pull on this aggressively, especially on the current model that they have, or else it will rip off. But other than that, it works great. There have been some people that have had some issues with the tongue kind of doing weird things. So keep that in mind. If you feel like that's something that's happening to you, is an issue that people have brought up. I haven't had it happen to me personally, but I've heard from several people, so I figured I'd mention it. But it is also a great liner if you do want to swap it, and use it as an Intuition style liner. It's a great budget way to get in that. The whole skate costs less than what you would pay for, a regular Intuition liner, like a premium one right now. I think they're at $275 with the tariffs. So that was the liner. Now let's get into the boot itself. The boot was actually modeled around the Micro MT boot. So if you're familiar with that skate and you want to know how this fits, if you have anybody with a pair of Micro MT Pluses, MT4s around, put your foot in that and you will see what the inside of this boot really feels like. Essentially mirrored after, or they use the same portion of that mold or whatever, from what I understand, as the bones. And so everything else is just more design. They did get rid of the slider, which I like. That's one of the things Ricardo mentioned. He said, I know most of us, if you come from aggressive, things like the slider, as minor as they seem, they kind of do take away from like the aesthetic for a lot of aggressive guys. I think we come from a different overall aesthetic on our skates than the traditional big wheeler. So I think for a lot of people coming from aggressive and that want a sleek skate that isn't going to break the bank, this is probably the best one as of right now. Cool thing about the skate is this. Can't really see, it looks like these are loose, but there's actually 3 spots where they'll lock in. There's 3 different spots. One's right there, another one right there, another one right there, and they lock. So you can adjust it either to move the frame backward or forward, or to accommodate something like a 109.5 mount frame. So I think that's a cool feature versus some of the other brands that have the various holes and stuff for you to attach to. It's kind of an easier way to have the same effect. Plastic on these is cool. I haven't had any issues with any wear, any scratches or anything like that. Yeah, they've held up great so far. All right, so that is the boot. Now we're gonna get into the last component, which is the most important in my opinion, is the frame setup and all the components. So the cool thing, and so this is one of those skates that as I kept taking it apart and as I was looking to find things wrong with it, I was actually more and more impressed. So took the wheels off. I want to see what bearings they were. I was assuming it was going to be some generic bearing. They're actually twin cam ILQ7 bearings. So it's a really high quality bearing inside of these wheels, whether you get the 80 or the 90 millimeter version. And this frame, from what I understand, was actually going to be a pro model for someone. I'm assuming like a wizard style frame. So it has all the looks. Like I said, Ricardo, obviously a big wizard skating fan, had a hand in designing this frame. And that's why it looks so appealing to people who might be interested in that style of skating. And I think it's also a really good entry-level frame for wizard type of skating. If that's something you're interested in, I think it accomplishes a lot of the same things that you want your wizard frame to accomplish. So I think that's cool. I think just the overall look of the skate, right? Like, it's just a very good-looking skate. Like, if you were to try to build something like this, with just all custom parts, you're probably looking minimum $400, to get something that even looks like this, and probably not with the same quality products that you have on here. So the wheels are the one thing, and they look different. So these ones are a little glossier. The 80 millimeter wheels, you can see, have a little gloss to them. The 90 millimeter wheels, for some reason, have more of a matte finish. I don't know what it was about the matte finish of the wheels. It made me feel like maybe they were cheap. I've skated them. They aren't. They've held up really well. Actually, you can see. This is after 6 months. I don't think I've rotated them. So they hold up well. They're actually a good quality wheel, but something about the finish on them just seemed cheap to me. But like I said, I was pleasantly surprised, and they've held up really well. Haven't had a chance to skate the 80 millimeter wheels, but they look different. That's really that. One-piece axles, which I love. I'm a big fan of these one-piece axles. Makes everything so much easier. We'll go ahead and just get into my personal opinion about the skate. After skating this thing for 6 months, various different types of night skating. Skating in LA, I've skated out here in San Bernardino, I've skated around just my city, just hanging out. And it's a great skate. I think the liner is the main issue that people have. I haven't had any issues. So if you were asking my opinion, I haven't had any issues at all with the skate. I've just been blown away. I've been more and more impressed the more and more I use it, because I had really low expectations, especially with the price point. You just feel like it should cost more for some reason. And I didn't want to believe. I got a sample to try before I brought him into the shop, skated the heck out of him, and like I said, was just blown away, and am consistently blown away and continue to be blown away as I use them. I know it's not a popular brand just as of yet. I feel like the more and more people that you'll see skating them, I think eventually it's going to be a regular brand. I think it'll be one of the main entry-level brands that's talked about probably in the next couple of years. But yeah, I really enjoy this guy. I like everything about it. The look, the price, the support behind it. It's a company that's really excited to do business in California and really is trying to earn the respect of the community, doing all the right things, which I really appreciate. You know, you don't see a lot of retailers or wholesalers putting in that work anymore. Especially as a retailer, it's really hard. You know, the only time most of our wholesalers reach out to us is either to try to get money or to complain about something, you know. So it feels really good to work with a company that's really, doing all the right things to try to come in to the market. So shout out to Alcedo, shout out to, you know, the distribution and everybody else. Very good quality skate. Any other questions? If you guys want to chat a little bit more about it, feel free to call the shop, shoot me a DM, all the various ways. Very limited with time, but I do my best to try to get back to everybody as soon as I can. So I'll talk to you guys soon.